Wow, awesome, awesome. Whew. They got a standing ovation for those of us in the room. Wow, thank you. Thank you, that was so beautiful. You know, there's something that happens to me when the music is that profound. And it goes a little bit like, oh wait, I forgot what I was going to talk about. Like I become so present to the music that I'm sitting over there and I'm like, oh, I have to go give a talk. So, thank you. I think that's probably the greatest compliment if I lose my words. Oh dear. Anyway, it's Christmas Sunday. Welcome, welcome again. It's so powerful to be conscious in this moment, in this season, in this year. It is the Sunday of joy, and we would be remiss to not acknowledge the sorrow, the loss that so many have had this year. I've had a lot of loss in my year, and I have moved through it, you know, well, I don't know. I mean, you move through it, right? But I had a friend reach out to me this week, and she said, oh my gosh, you've had so much loss. How are you? I've been thinking about you. And you know what? It hit me. It's like, oh, I have had a lot of loss this year. And then she says, how are you doing? I said, you know what? I'm really okay. And then we got into this, or I really, you know, we're on Facebook Messenger, right? And I got into this, like how do we navigate it? And the truth is we navigate it because we have the spiritual truth principles. We know that everything is going to be okay in the end. And if it's not yet okay, take a breath. It's not yet the end. It's like my favorite quote of all time from the Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, right? One of my favorite movies. Not exactly a Christmas movie. But I want to acknowledge that if you are struggling, give yourself permission to be in your humanity. If you are hurting in this moment, know that you will get through it. And hopefully today, and hopefully this ministry, and hopefully you've got friends and family around you that are holding you in this time. And if you're one who's just kind of like, you know, moving along, then I invite you to take a breath and to become super conscious. Super conscious. When I say super conscious, I really want to go to supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but super conscious of who you are and how you be in the world. Now, this year is amazingly special because tomorrow is the solstice. That's not all that unusual. It comes every December 21st. But what makes it special is it is lined up with the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in a way that happens every 20 years or so, but it's been 400 or 600 or 800, depending on which expert you go to, years since it's been on the solstice in a way in the sky that it will appear to us as the Star of Bethlehem. Oh, it's so cool. Tomorrow, about an hour after sunset, so don't wait too late, you will see an amazing star in the sky, assuming that our skies are clear, so we're holding for clear skies. And the power of this is profound because it is said that that is the star that the wise men saw, that led them to Bethlehem to honor the babe Jesus. Now, it's special from an astronomy, because it's a rare occurrence. It won't happen like this again for at least 60 years, so it's a once-in-a-lifetime moment. It's astronomically, powerfully prophetic because it signals a change in an era. Now, when I say the word era, that's E-R-A. Sometimes it sounds like error, which might be more true. But the change in the era, now it can be said that the last couple thousand years we've been operating under the earth signs, which is fabulous. But we're moving into really the age of Aquarius. Now, wasn't it like in the 80s we were singing about the age of Aquarius? 70s maybe? I'm like, are we finally getting there? 60s, thank you. 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. Maybe we're finally getting there. But everything is lining up, including this chaotic, crazy, complicated year. Everything is lining up for that change in consciousness. 2,000 years ago, Jesus was born, and he brought a message to the world that said, we are one. He gave us commandments. He said, love yourself, the Lord God of your being, your neighbor. Oh, are you kidding me? Your neighbor and your enemy. But your neighbor, sometimes they're the hardest, aren't they? He said, God is not out there. But the kingdom of heaven is closer than your hands and feet. It's closer than the breath you breathe. It's time that we wake up to that truth. It's time that we take it out of our head as a thought or a principle or a belief and integrate it into our being. And I promise you that when we do that, everything changes. Everything changes when we realize our oneness. Now, we've spent the last 10,000 years living in an awareness of separation. But that is coming to an end. And it comes to an end when we awaken, when we birth the Christ, when we become the awakened consciousness, when we embody and integrate and be. How many times can you say be? Like when we be it, when we be oneness, all that stuff, it dissolves. It disappears. And what we find in its place is a brand new world. It's as if we are lifted in consciousness from where we are in this outer world, in this world of separation, in this world of drama and trauma and all kinds of things. You watch the news, you know what's gone on this year. And we're lifted to a new place where we can observe that, but we're not thrown about by it. We're not impacted by it quite so much. So science tells us that in this stage, humanity is being squeezed and twisted and like this. That was a technical term. You want it again, just in case you missed it? It's like all of humanity is being like, and it hurts, and it's no fun. And it's as if it's the same process as the cells of our being go through when they divide. And there is a divide happening. And in the divide, the single cell becomes two. Now we have a choice. We have a choice because we know we have a choice. The old cell, the one cell, is going to stay in this kind of karmic pattern, and it's going to continue to be hard. That's one possibility. And nothing much is going to change, because the truth is, until you change, nothing changes. But we also are birthing this new cell. It's a new consciousness. It's a new era. It's a new dimension of being, really. And when we land in that, what we find is new humanity. What we find is this oneness we've been talking about. But then what floods our system is not fear and anxiety and worry and stress, but what floods our system is this love and kindness and compassion that'll bring tears to your eyes, because it's so beautiful. And it's happening right now. It's happening right this minute. It's been happening all year. And if you pivot your awareness from all the things that are wrong and hard, and you lift your eyes, not like out, not to like the anthropomorphic God up in the sky sitting on the throne, not that, but lift your eyes out of, shall we say, trauma, just to name it, not to judge it, just to name it, and you lift your eyes and you come into this place of beingness. It will touch your soul. And the beauty there, it's like, well, a few years ago, my husband had cataract surgery, and after cataract surgery, he's like, everything went from like old tube TV to like HD color. It's like that. And everything becomes brilliant. And the compassion that is there, the community, the connection, the collaboration, the innovation, the miracles that are there are profound. And you know how far away they are? Let me show you. That fast. It's already there. There are people, hundreds and thousands of millions of people who are living there now. It's time for us. I mean, it's like this. It's a little bit like how I've been feeling at Unity Church of the Hills. Wait for me, for I am your leader. Right? We're a new thought. We should be the forerunners of this, and we're hanging back here going, oh, when is this, whatever. We are the ones. We should be leading this because we know, because we have access to the truth, because we have been teaching for 40 years almost, that there is only one presence, and it's God, and it's not outside, it's within us. We've been teaching oneness and talking dualism. We've been teaching oneness and living separation. It's time to bring it together, to integrate it. And that is the birth. And that is the star. So tomorrow night, you might be able to see it tonight because Jupiter and Saturn are becoming closer and closer. But tomorrow night, they are so close that they look like as one. And it's the star that the wise men followed. And so who are the wise men? What are the wise men? The wise men, they came. They followed that star, and they found Jesus the babe, right? Now, you can do research, scholarly research, to find out how long it took the wise men who traveled from the east to arrive in Bethlehem at the manger. And they say 2.5 days, 2.5 months, 2.5 years. So they're very precise. And they came and they brought the gifts to the baby. They brought gold and frankincense and myrrh to the baby. Now, you know if those wise men had been women? Wait for it, wait for it. They would have asked for directions instead of following a star. They would have arrived on time. And they would have brought practical gifts like casserole and swaddling clothes and baby bottles. I can't help it, I'm sorry. I am well known for my bad jokes. But those gifts that those wise men brought, the wise men were the scientists, they were the astronomers. They were the ones who studied, who knew who they were. And so they brought the gold. This is right out of the revealing word. They brought the gold, which is spiritual gifts, riches of the Spirit, the consciousness of the omnipresent substance, the omnipresent richness of substance. It's a new awareness. It's a new consciousness. Frankincense represents the transmutation of the material to the spiritual. We go back, we've been, an earth sign based, I don't know exactly how to say that, and we're moving to air. Well, earth is material, air is spiritual. I get body chills with this stuff. I hope you're getting the power of this. And myrrh represents the eternity of spirit. It's an ointment of love. We are being called, Christmas season of 2020, to awaken to the truth of who we are, to birth the next level of consciousness, the next level of being love in ourselves, as ourselves, in the planet, as the planet. And so the question comes, what star are you following? Are you following the star on CNN? I don't pick on CNN only because it stands for constantly negative news. Right? So I just use CNN just sort of as, whatever. Are you paying attention to the news? Are you following the star of the weather report or the stock market? Or are you following the star of what your neighbor says? Or are you following the star of your own heart? That star that is anointing you and calling you and leading you. And that star is the very presence of God. That star is spirit, transcending all reality. Did you get that? I copied that sort of from the way Roger Teal does his talks. STAR, spirit transcending all reality. Spirit transcending all small r reality. When you follow that star, you will be given access to a state of consciousness that is the presence that we call God or spirit or source or creation already within you. It's not out there. It's right here. And as you follow that star, as you transcend whatever your challenges are, and I don't diminish your challenges, life on this planet right now is really hard for a lot of us. And yet, so are birthing pains. Creation, the science of creation says, before every creation there is chaos. I did a Facebook Live. If you're not following me on Facebook, I invite you to join me because I like to do Facebook Lives. I did one yesterday that says, what's outside your comfort zone? What's outside your comfort zone? Everything you want. Everything you desire. Absolutely everything is outside your comfort zone because the comfort zone by definition is what you have, what you are, what you be. It's right here. We all have comfort zones. That's not a bad thing. I've been so far outside my comfort zone this week. I mean, I delivered packages to strangers. How cool was that? I got on the phone with people. I did all kinds of things. I found this lake yesterday and went on a walk. I went outside my comfort zone again and again and again and again and again. And you know what I found? Joy and peace and hope and confidence and love and connection and kindness and innovation. All those things we want, they're within you. But they're just a step beyond where you've been living. Doesn't make it outside of you, it's still within you. Rumi says, listen with ears of tolerance. See through the eyes of compassion. Speak the language of love. What if that becomes your star? Listen with ears of tolerance. I will translate that to say, listen to the deeper message. Listen to hear something new. Listen to be changed. See through the eyes of compassion. You don't know anything about anybody. We don't even know what's going on in our own lives, really, or our own minds, really. See with eyes of compassion. Begin to notice that every single person you see is something bigger than what you see. Let your heart be broken wide open, because when we allow our hearts to be broken wide open, then we have more room for love and kindness and compassion. And speak the language of love. What if you only did those three things? But you did those things really, really well for the next week, till the end of the year, maybe next year. Do you think we would change the world? The world is changing. The world is changing as we speak. Are you going to be one of those cells that stays in the old karmic pattern? Or one of those cells that says, I'm here for something new. I'm here to birth that Christ consciousness. I'm here for a new dimension of being. I'm here to awaken to the truth of what is already within me. I am moving from the caterpillar through that cocoon of muck and mush into the brilliance of who I'm here to be. I am becoming my biggest, most brilliant becomingness. Will you join me? I am becoming that Christ presence that we've been talking about for decades, if not centuries. Are we done talking? Somebody says yes, somebody says no. Let's start being that which we desire. That which we desire might feel out there, but it's only a half a step. It's a pivot away. It's an awakening away. It is a thought away. I want to share this poem from Martha Postlewaite. Do not try to save the whole world or do anything grandiose. Instead, create a clearing in the dense forest of your life and wait there patiently until the song that is your life falls into your own cupped hand and you recognize it and greet it. Only then will you know how to give yourself to this world so worthy of rescue. Take the time to be still. Take the time for the holy pause. Take the time to find that power of simplicity, to sit with yourself until the truth of you awakens in you and pours into your cupped hands the truth of who you are and the gift that you bring to this world. What star, what Christmas star are you going to follow? Or what Christmas star are you going to become? God bless you. Merry Christmas. Oh, thank you. Oh. Thank you. Thank you.